Oh, Devolver, you sly Sammies. Also, Flying Wild
Sammys.
Hog. Big help from Flying Wild Hog for this as well. If you don't know about Flying Wild Hog, they are one of the developers that works with Devolverland. In particular, they make the Shadow Warrior series, and that's why they decided to help Devolverland for their grand version of a Nintendo Direct. They made one that's playable.
Huh. Has been canceled.
Well,
Oh yeah, because this takes so topical as we normally are. This is taking place, I suppose, during the pandemic when the convention center has been abandoned because the grand convention they planned, E3, was canceled.
Oh, okay.
Which
that makes sense.
some would say for better or for worse. So we play a young, unsuspecting person who's decided, you know what? The coast is clear.
Why am I
I'm
getting
gonna
the vibe
break in
that
there.
Why am I getting the vibe that this could very well be the setup for some kind of like horror game where it's like survive this haunted expo and avoid the ghosts of gaming past?
I would love that if I could actually destroy things like Qbert and Bubsy, but no, it's not. It's
Q-Bird's
not
harmless.
by its nature. It's not a horror game. Okay, I'm just going to
should we tempt fate?
Ooh.
bingo.
Yeah.
We're in.
All right.
So yeah, this is Devolverland Expo. This is, as I already mentioned, they are going to be showing off a series of games, pretty much in the same. Yeah, okay. I want to go to South Hall because there's something I want to see there. But yeah, this is going to be showing off. I want to say about 4 to 6 games that they've been having in the works that are going to be published by Devolver Digital. And
Are they mostly
Go ahead.
originals or are there any like sequels to stuff they already made?
There's oh no, there are some sequels and you'll see them. Don't worry.
I mean,
A couple
I
of
will,
sequels that they're partnered with them.
I will admit, kind of an elaborate way to really showcase like all the hip games that they're going to be publishing within the next couple of months or so.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I actually kind of like the setup.
Security.
Oh boy.
Oh, I mean, good
It's-
to see that. Even in this mostly abandoned facility, there's still the guard droids at work.
It's just like Cooper Logic. Just stay out of their range for now, and I just need to
Right.
arm myself from this lovely, conveniently placed merchandise stand.
I was gonna say, was that a freaking Teletubby back there?
That's actually from a game we'll see later called Fallout Guys.
Oh,
It actually
okay.
looks, or Fall Guys, looks pretty fun. So we're going to arm ourselves with this handy, dandy, and highly deadly t-shirt gun.
T-shirt.
Ah,
gun.
t-shirt guns! I love those!
Can't really destroy much, but we can stun them for a bit.
Do you have unlimited ammo or do you have to find more
Yes.
shirts?
Nah, it's unlimited.
Okay.
There is, as you notice, though, there is a bit of a cooldown when you have to reload, where you have to pop another
fair.
one in. Hang on, I'm gonna quickly sneak past you, see if I can. Rats.
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
Wait.
quick,
You know-
pants him.
You know what? I
No,
get
it's
the
just while I'm
feeling.
waiting to get moving again.
Well, he's not even wearing pants. You know, I get the feeling that this was a mistake. All these doors are locked. How are we gonna play any of these sweet indie games?
By breaking the law.
I said
The
pants him, not
Devolver way.
shirts him.
So yeah, as you noticed, yeah, some of these doors are locked, so we're gonna have to go and find our way to access the convention center. Man, I haven't been to a convention in forever.
I've never been to one, period.
Actually,
We
you
should
know,
try one. That
the last time I went to a convention was back in January before this all
Oh.
happened.
I'm curious, James, if you've ever done anything like that with like artist alleys or game stuff in general. Like you're closer to Southern Cal stuff than I am.
Not really. No, never really had the interest.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
it's like I think the closest big name convention, that I have near me is MomoCon, but that's all the way in Georgia. And again, as much as I would love to go to something like that, that would require a lot of money, and we don't exactly have a lot of money.
No, especially not right, and definitely not right now.
Yeah,
Now's the
of
time
course.
to save and worry
Now's the
about-
time to stay cramped in your homes and wear your masks.
Okay,
So
we
I
have
have
to go
to-
down there.
I still have to admit, though, it is hilarious, though, that even though this is supposed to be the way to actually get sneak peeks at their latest games, you still have to actually work for those sneak peeks.
No,
Yeah,
and I
I'm-
love that. I do genuinely find that really fun. You first type.
I'm actually was gonna be slightly hidden security.
I'll explain more about that later. For now, we're gonna look at this lovely dorky Nvidia, their latest PC graphics cards. I'm gonna nerd out about it, but yeah, go ahead, hype. We're not
Well,
missing anything here.
All I was gonna say is that like you say you love it. I'm not quite sure if I really want that to be like a thing where it's like I really have to like bust my tail just to get to these demos.
It's a very easy. Don't worry, it's actually a lot easier, and you have like unlimited like checkpoints and stuff. But I oh my god, that's great. There it is. But yeah, in general, like I agree with James when I was talking with him about this after I played it the first time. It's like, on one hand, I would love Nintendo to do something like this. It feels like it'd be like right up their alley. But at the same time, I also agree that this is amazing, but I almost wonder if this would kind of get old after the first 2 times they do this.
I mean, yeah, it feels like an extravagant one-trick pony.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
it really,
fair.
I guess it really depends on if they do want to do something like this again.
What
If
the
they
hell?
want to find a way to spice it up.
Oh, looks like they're all gathering up for the latest showcase.
Yeah, something's in here.
Whatever it is, it's red.
No, I'm not welcome here, but this is one of the expos.
Oh, whoa!
What was that?
Looks like
Oh
Frogger's
my
hungry.
god!
It looks like the latest 2D pixely game that Devolver got the publishing rights to.
Let's
Carrion.
What the heck is that?
I remember
That-
this was teased last year.
Yeah, and I saw this. I saw it was like on demos and stuff in Steam, and apparently it's even getting a Switch release.
you.
Let us watch our trailer.
Okay.
Believe it or
This
not, this
is,
game's actually coming out relatively soon.
Oh boy.
Yep, I think by the end of this, at least by like the end of the summer, I believe. As you can already see here, that lovely behemoth you saw back there, Jordy, is actually the player.
Yep.
Oh,
you
we play
are
as
the
that?
freak.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good twist, actually. I like that.
You
I
you
feel
play
like-
the freak of nature.
I could have sworn. I feel like another game's tried to do something like that before, but if it has, the name's kind of escaping me.
Well, I definitely know that, like, you know, there have been games where you're the villain, like destroy all humans and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, like this specific concept of like a horror game where you're the horror icon.
You need to take control of them. Well, I mean, there definitely has been like some games like that. I mean, I know there are like, you know, those multiplayer games like Dead by Daylight and stuff. But yeah, this is a single player horror game. Where I also know some Flash games that did this. But yeah, this is Carrion. Oh, it comes out later this month.
What do you know?
Next week even.
Actually, wait,
Wow.
23. Is that the? Is 23? Is that the same day as Origami King?
No. It's actually about a week, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Marketing objective complete.
So yeah, the main goal of this game is to see all the cool little commercials and stuff. And yeah, no, I've seen some footage of Carrion. Don't worry, that thing actually can't hurt us. We're fine.
Okay, good.
I think.
So I was gonna
It's
say,
just
if it
an
came out and
animatronic.
attacked you like that robot, I'm out of here.
Well,
Nah,
joke's
no,
on
that
you.
that
You're
gameplay footage told me. If that gameplay footage taught me anything, if I were to actually go against that thing, I'd be screwed.
Yeah.
Oh, and also the first one I collected earlier when Hype was telling me about the game stuff, and then another thing they hid in this game, which I think is also really interesting, is
Online.
So what happens when you get caught?
again, I've never actually gotten caught, but
I think they
did
just boot you
die
back
elsewhere.
outside.
Not outside. I think it just sends you back to the last checkpoint.
Probably.
Like whenever whenever your objective
West.
updates. Ooh, another new game.
Weird West.
Weird West. Look at all that tumbleweed.
All right, let's see the trailer. This one I can talk a little bit more over because this is one of the longer like direct thingies. This one almost seems like they're wanting to go for it. Reminds me of like the old Fallout games where it was more top down rather than first person shooter.
I would be
Yeah.
surprised
And-
if that was the inspiration.
And it's like a Wild West fantasy adventure area with combat, stealth. It's one of those games where like your choices will actually determine the outcomes of other events and stuff. Again, it does remind me a lot of like kind of like an action RPG thing with survival sim stuff.
You know, something that just occurred to me. You know how there have been like some people that have been talking about the idea of like, and I've seen like a lot of people talk about the concept of, you know, ever since the success of Cadence of Hyrule, like what if they had like other indie developers try their hands at Nintendo games? I honestly think it'd be kind of interesting to see Devolver make a Metroid game.
Well,
Metro-
let's also remember though that Devolver is mainly a publisher. I don't think they've ever developed the game themselves.
Yeah, actually, I want to Google that. I want to see if they've ever actually. Funny thing I can mention as far as Devolver Digital stuff goes is that they got, I guess, either the director or a producer of John Wick, and they are making a My Friend Pedro series or
I
movie.
remember seeing that.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna be interesting.
Oh, there you go.
I still want a freaking sequel to Katana Zero.
Me too.
You know
I mean,
they're
I'm
gonna
still-
make it.
I'm still wondering what the heck ever happened to that one thing that's supposed that update that's supposed to let you go inside that knows that do not enter door at the very end of the cover.
You know what? Maybe that's what the sequel's gonna be. It'd be like, it's kind of like, I know there's a game that's done it like this. I'm just forgetting the name. Where they have like an update that looks like it's just a regular game update, but it's actually just a full-fledged sequel in disguise.
Well, shit. I mean,
that does sound like
saves me another $15. I'll tell you that.
That does sound like their style, but yeah, Devolver's more of a publisher. I don't think they really did much development. Still fantastic kind of. I do look up to them as a good publisher. They've really pulled out some fun like highlights like that. But anyway, so this is him explaining that like if you kill that person but let the person's mother go free, then later on down the line in the game, that mother can track you down with a posse, and now you gotta fend for yourself. So yeah. Anyway, so back to what I was talking about earlier. Oh geez, and also there's werewolves in this game. So what else happened? Okay, so the secrets I found. I think this is an incredible idea, which I hope other developers can do something like this, or publishers. So earlier I found a book and I found a teacup, and later I'll also find a bag after I watch the rest of this trailer. If you find all 4 of each item, so 12 in total, I believe. For each one you find, at the very end of the game, we'll be able to get like a little teaser for a brand new game that they have in development that they haven't even announced yet.
Really?
So they hide. What?
Do you show off that teaser?
Yeah, it's like but it's only like a single image. But yeah, if you look very closely at the end clear screen, you'll be able to see some teasers for new game projects. We have no titles. I have no idea what the gameplay even is, but I can at least look at it and see what maybe the art direction will be.
All right.
So yeah, that was our little look at a Weird West.
This is
and frankly, I still really enjoy the little like attention to detail they have with showing off footage of the games. You can even show like footage of them recording the OST.
Huh, fancy that.
But yeah, actually,
I really go ahead.
Just going back to that pig with the knife. I had a joke in mind, but I keep forgetting. What's the name of the pig from Beyond Good and Evil again?
Paige?
Yeah, Paige. It's an Old West Paige.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ooh, a
But yeah,
teacup.
I like. Oh yeah, PEIJ. That's right. All right, so yeah, that's the next one. But yeah, just in general, like, I don't know. I still maybe what I was really excited about this idea was that I like the idea of hang on, just gotta hack my way through this. Right, down, up, right, up, down. Got it. I also just frankly love the idea of like, I want to be able to experience E3. I frankly will agree that E3 is kind of a dated concept, especially with look at how freaking like all the creative ways we can share the exact same information without needing to pay for all the physical transportation and booth rental space of E3.
I mean, the only thing we'd really be missing out on is all the demos, but even then, it's like, is that really worth hundreds of dollars in travel taxes?
Whatever happened to just? I'm serious, actually. Whatever happened to? This is where I typically died a couple times, but again, the checkpoints are pretty generous. So I just gotta move through these lasers. But what was it? Like, whatever happened to just having
regular demos?
Yeah, you can do a slide maneuver. Whatever happened to just having demos on the online, or to like just on the eShop, or just on the PSN store? Like, why is it only these convention? I guess in the grand scheme of things, that's the only way they can like incentivize paying money to go to them.
I mean, there's also the matter of fact that like it or not, demos take time to make, just roughly as much as actually making the game itself.
These are the credits for this experience. They cleverly hid them here and not at the end of the game.
Huh. Okay then.
Unfortunately, also means I can be like, cool, all right, gonna move on with the game now. And
bye, guys.
I see you guys are not properly addressing the dress code.
I can barely see anything.
It was dark in there. Don't worry. Okay,
I saw him put the shirts on.
Nice visuals. But yeah, so
they were out, but they will forever feel pantsed.
Password is 2020. Makes sense. 2020.
Subtle.
We'll just wait. Yeah. Well, I mean, I love. I'm looking at all these like news articles about this. Devolver Digital made a free game about a canceled game convention. Go figure.
I mean,
something just about it.
They're cheeky.
I mean, it is kind of funny considering the fact that like usually like every year they do have like some sort of E3 stream, which is funny because they used to just be regular.
What was what?
Oh,
Heard a
that
noise.
was the convention's like AI security thing, and it's getting mad at me because I'm still running around doing whatever I darn well please. Which is good because we finally made it to the thing I wanted to get to.
Ow.
You broke
The
a table.
Devolver. That's fine. Nobody's using it anyway. But there it is, the Devolver Power Glove. Ah,
Oops.
Of course it was going to be heavily guarded. What do you think was going to happen?
We're gonna have to play all these previews if we want that glove.
honestly, yeah. But again, nice to at least keep an eye on some of this stuff. So fine, let's look at the next game on our docket, Blightbound.
Lightbound.
Yep. Basically, from the footage I saw, the art style reminds me of Darkest Dungeon with the gameplay of Diablo.
Huh.
Now, unfortunately, I'm just going to be honest and say, for me, that probably makes this a soft pass for me. I don't think I'm much into Diablo games like that.
That's fair.
I like all the mystical, monstrous art style and stuff, but, yeah, this is one of those... Oh, crap. Remember when we did Dragon Mark for Death that one time?
Yeah, that was a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
And it was cool, but, like, I guess the issue is that it gets repetitive and, like... Well, okay. Apart from maybe one or two games, like recently Destiny 2 has been my big, like, buff I've been wanting to do, and I am not the kind of guy who can just play the exact same game over and over again. Like, I love playing new games as they come out.
I think a lot of that, like, just in the case of this, where it does look like I know it's not exactly what you're talking about, but I think for something like this, I don't really see it as big of an issue, because if you really think about it, how exactly does it, what separates it from something like, say, beat-em-ups like Streets of Rage 4 or whatnot, that kind of feel like they go through the exact same kind of tropes?
I guess, typically with an RPG, you have, like, different resources and magic spells and, like, other resources to, like, account for, but honestly, yeah, I guess now I think about it, yeah, the footage of that did kind of remind me a bit more of Streets of Rage with a typical beat 'em up. All right.
Honestly, watching that whole footage put me in the mood to look back on Dragon's Crown.
Oh man, I gotta watch it. That was a fun. That was a long one. That was like the longest one I think we did. Or is there another one?
Well, we never did Dragon's Crown for the channel. I'm just saying that, like.
Oh, jeez, I'm so sorry. I was thinking of what was the fantasy Capcom beat 'em up?
King of Dragons?
That was it. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
now I remember Dragon's Crown. That's right. That's the 2D art style with everybody keeps drawing art of the sorceress.
It's the Vanillaware one, yeah.
Oliya. It's like a silent J.
This one I've heard about here and there.
This one seems to be. It's going for it's definitely going. Not definitely. It's going for the 2D action, like Ninja Gaiden kind of gameplay. I love the what they're doing with the magical spear harpoon thingy. I guess the minimalist art style of the pixel art almost reminds me of stuff like Sword and Sorcery EP.
You follow his adventure to
BRB, guys.
It's alright. But I mean, I will admit, Katana Zero kind of spoiled me in terms of how how minimalist graphical presentation can look. So I don't know. This one's not entirely doing it for me.
I will say that although the minimalist art style is great, in some areas, like you'll see later in some of the footage, it's kind of hard for me to tell like where I am and what I'm doing. This is fine. Welcome back. That's fine. This footage here is great. Rawr. But like in some of these other screens when I'm fighting a lot of enemies, I guess maybe I think it just needed a more contrasting color palette because it is very samey looking some of these rooms.
I mean, to be fair, like minimalism in general is kind of a very like tricky thing to master.
It's an acquired taste.
Well, like I said, it's really tricky because you really it really is trying to find that good balance of what to emphasize, what to take away from.
But the combat looks very fluid. It looks like here. Also, if everybody's wondering why we almost Also, if anybody's ever wondering why we almost will never do all of us talking and live reaction to a direct, it's because we're probably going to be talking over every single trailer and stuff like this.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
But this is the closest thing. This is the closest excuse I could find us doing that. So,
well, there goes my plans. There goes my suggestion for whenever we get that next rumored direct.
Well, if we do end up getting that rumored direct, I'm watching that solo, baby.
Yeah, no, I mean
I
that's
don't want
kinda
any I don't want any demons in my head to distract me from what I really want to see.
Yeah, typically that's what I've been doing lately. Is I'll watch it on my own, but I'll totally be typing and stuff, and then James we usually hook up back with him later, like, hey, what did you think, and gauge it from there. And
Mario and the Ray and the Ravens are
Oh shit!
Blade has a mind of its own.
Never mind.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, he has experience
I
before,
might
so
have to touch you.
will you
Anyway,
need
there you
further?
go, Leah.
Master the harp
So I'm down for
save
that,
the
and
castaways.
yeah, again, as far as indie
Mystery
developers
surrounds
go,
all.
indie publishers, I mean, I'm really happy with Devolver. Do you think WayForward should partner with Devolver?
I don't see why they wouldn't.
Wouldn't hurt. I guess it depends on if they have anything that would really suit Devolver's tastes.
Because I think, because I think WayForward typically has self-published their games.
For the most part, they
Not
do.
all. Sometimes they do, though they do occasionally. Is that Sir Sam?
Yep.
Oh, son of a
Because
bitch.
I don't know if I don't know if I
that
told
was
you already.
close.
Because I don't know if I told you already. They're making a Serious Sam 4.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, dang.
We played.
I
I
have-
think we played 2 at one point. I don't think I've ever played 3 yet. But I
We
know
played 2 at one. No. Actually, no. We didn't play 2. We played the We played an HD the HD revamp of the first game. And that was
feel
something
like-
we just did on our own time. Like,
Right. We just wanted to test and see how well the co-op and stuff work.
and for those that have ever played a Serious Sam game before, especially the first one, nothing will ever be ingrained in your head quite like the kamikaze soldiers.
It's one of my favorite things. It's one of my favorite screams to use when somebody's just like freaking out and or running really too fast. It's
Yourself.
I feel
that
kind of.
too.
I feel out of place in this instance because I've never seen a lot of, nor particularly cared for Serious Sam to begin with.
It's
Well, I can
literally it's literally just like a counterpart to Duke Nukem.
It's a very schlocky shooter, and it wears that like a proud medal upon its chest. And honestly, I'm down with it. It's very much like an arcadey shooter where you are put into a wide area with a lot of guys, a lot of ammunition, and you mow them down. And honestly, there is definitely an audience for that.
I'm
In
sure there
terms of less guns and violence and more artsy stuff hype, they also were the developers of, if you could believe it, they also were the developers of that puzzle game, the Talos Principle, that Glee likes.
I'll take your word on that. I've never heard either of you guys talk about that before. At least not in front of me.
Ah, well. Curse you.
Bones.
Sorry, I was about to try and make a Chris Redfield joke there, but I just couldn't get it out in time. But yeah, Serious Sam 4, I'm down. I hope it does well. We need more fun schlocky shooters in this day. We've kind of been losing it. Like, apart from Doom, all the shooters have been pretty straight-faced and serious.
Which
is
yeah.
I think a lot of it might have to do with the fact that, I'm sure their hearts are in the right place, but I think schlockiness is kind of a dying art for kind of a good reason.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping with stuff like Dragon.
I mean, honestly, I feel like at some point the same thing's going to happen with all these, very serious kind of shooters, because they're starting to get really fucking shallow.
Well, some of them are like, well, not just that, like,
Ooh.
I just know. Jeez, calm down, Mr. AI. Let's go to something nice, silly, and completely doofy.
I do remember this game also being teased last year, and I mean...
Oh my god! What is this?
Look at all the cute little expendable people.
This is the land of Fall Guys.
This feels like a
jeez.
playpen.
Yeah, I was about to
Get
say,
out of here.
I think it is a
I'm getting
playpen.
I'm getting some discount Viva Pinata vibes from this.
The color palette's definitely there.
Oh
So,
yeah,
as
you're right.
As you'll see in the footage, the Fall Guys are cute and all, but even tip them over and they're pretty much like out of commission. Like they just kind of pass out. And don't you go anywhere. Anyway, so this
All
is
right, let's
Fall
do this.
Guys.
Let's see how far this game's come along since the last time we saw it.
So it is a grand multiplayer game of you just kind of throwing your body at the other person until they fall down. It's almost like and it actually, as you're seeing here, it actually kind of plays like a battle royale too.
Huh.
Where you can either do team combat like this with the two different color teams, or this where it almost kind of plays like that show Wipeout, except you want to try and outlast the mayhem. So honestly, I'm down for that. It's a platformer battle royale, I guess.
Yeah, it looks fun. It looks fun enough.
Yeah, I'm liking it so far. You know, I'm
that
not gonna
green
lie.
duck
I
looks
was
so familiar.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not gonna lie, like, the second I was seeing all the cutesy stuff, there was a part of me that was thinking, like, oh, this looks cute. This is totally gonna be a Happy Tree Friends-like thing, isn't it?
Nah, it's pretty. It knows what it is.
It's close. Not quite as violent, thankfully.
Well, that's kind of what I mean, where
on
it's like...
Steam, you get Gordon Freeman.
Oh, that's cute.
Okay.
But I was saying,
yeah.
like, I feel like I was half expecting it to be like a Happy Tree Friends thing in a sense of like, oh, it looks all cutesy and harmless, but it turns out it's not.
It honestly could have been. I know a couple games that do that, but yeah. As for that, hang on, trampoline. What I guess I'll say I'm most disappointed about that is that game looked like it would have been the best on Switch, but it's not on Switch.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
It's on
honestly,
Steam only.
it does seem a little
High,
it does seem
high,
high maintenance.
yeah,
bit.
a lot of graphics and stuff.
Oh, you almost got caught.
Ooh, the last game on our list.
Shadow Warrior
3. Oh, I forgot that the Shadow Warrior series was a thing.
So Shadow Warrior it's actually kind of funny in that Shadow Warrior 1 was pretty much exactly what it was, pretty much like almost one-to-one with how the Doom 2016 game went, where like you have this HD high fidelity remake or reboot of the series, and they even had little classic levels from Shadow Warrior, the original. Shadow Warrior 2 then mixed things up a bit and made it more of a looter shooter like Borderlands, but it almost looks like It almost looks like with Shadow Warrior 3 they want to go right back to just typical straightforward action shooting.
Yeah, just go back to your roots.
Well, howdy, stranger.
With
Hello.
Lo Wang.
Where are you? Can you hear me? Demons. They're trying to break through.
And yeah, I think with the mobility and the swordplay, it looks like they want to bring back Lo Wang and have all sorts of fun, wacky shooter.
Hello, low budget Robert Downey Jr.
Oh,
It kind of does look like that, don't it? But yeah, no,
yeah.
I am. Don't mind the little frame rate buffer that happened for me there, but
okay.
I assure you the trailer played a lot smoother the first time I played. But in any case, we got weird, ridiculous enemies in a shooter environment. This guy actually kind of genuinely creeps me out with how fast he can move.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Oh, shit.
Well, you know what? I guess this kind of solves that thing you have about like having shooters that aren't so grim and gritty.
I mean, yeah, I could definitely. This definitely feels like the kind of game that wants to, remind the audience we're here to have fun.
Oh, also by the way, plenty of gore
Fun.
because it's Shadow
Naturally.
Warrior.
I bet that had to hurt.
But,
I bet
yeah,
that had to hurt.
ridiculous, over-the-top mayhem with ancient Japanese demons being
Is
sent
this
back
Japanese?
to whence they came. I'll be borrowing that, thank you.
Stay frosty.
That guy's sounding a little familiar the more I hear him.
Oh, Lo Wang. Let me look up his actor.
I wouldn't be.
But-
I have a feeling I know who it is, but I'm not gonna say just for the sake of it.
I'm home.
It says here. So apparently, you'll love this hype. Literally, this one article from HITC is Shadow Warrior 3. Why Lo Wang's voice actor sounds so familiar? It's apparently because, Jason Liebert.
Huh.
Oh, I've heard that name before. I'm just trying to remember if I've seen him in anything in particular.
He's been in a couple of anime dubs.
Honestly, the dude sounds like he'd be a decent enough Nolan North impersonator.
Yeah, I thought it was Nolan at first.
It did sound a little bit like his
Actually,
engine
you know
tone.
what? I think I know where I recognize him from. Has he voiced anyone in any of the Street Fighter games?
Let me pull that up right now. I can tell you right now. Yes, he is the ring announcer and Abel.
Okay, I thought that sounded like Abel.
Yes, that he's Abel. He is Mordecai in Borderlands. Ooh, and now I can get a little gravity glove thing.
Oh
Excuse me.
boy.
Oh,
So what are we
yes.
gonna use with this power glove?
That's all I wanted. I want to leave now.
What?
Oh no.
What did you
I
do?
said I want to leave now, please.
You will not leave without our precious treasure.
Dude, this is a Devolver game. It is a Devolver game made by the people who did Shadow Warrior. You think we ain't gonna have a boss battle?
So you're gonna fight a bunch of consoles?
I
Pretty much.
guess so.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Wow, damn!
So, I also like weird dorky thing to say. I love how the design of this boss has its health bar on the base of it. So
Yeah.
just knock that health bar down the green and we're sold. So since there's not really much in the ways of credits, James, what did you think of this little experiment?
Well, first thing I want to ask is, considering everything that happened this year up till now, how long did this game even take to make?
I'm gonna look that up and hopefully learn something. But while I'm looking that up, other thoughts?
I mean, it's a fun little experiment and nothing else. I mean, I don't want this to be sort of like some sort of time-honored tradition with every other game developer or publisher, just, you know, with all their whatever streams based on new releases and whatnot. But I mean, this definitely feels like something Devolver would do, because I was trying to say earlier is that for the longest time they've been doing like E3 streams, and initially they were primarily just shit posts. But then they eventually decided to actually make them legitimate and squish in some official announcements alongside that. And it's kind of nice to see that they more or less follow tradition, even if it's in a much different light.
Yeah.
Hype, what about you?
It's unique. It's insane. A lot of the games that they were showing off seemed pretty interesting.
I'm definitely...
Some of them...
Go ahead, you first.
I was about to say, like, a good handful of them are particularly interesting, like Fall Guys and the Shadow Warrior.
Carry On, I hope, will do well. I tried the Carry On demo a while ago, and it was fun.
Actually, I will say, I guess that is probably the one downside I have with this whole event. I mean, the whole idea behind it is great and all. I kind of wish there were more really. I don't know. This is just a me thing more than anything. Kind of wish there were more game announcements that were more to my taste.
I mean, that's
because I was honestly about hoping we could, get some more news regarding a Katana Zero follow-up or anything like that. Hello.
So left to right, ignoring the last image on the far right, those are the three images I unlocked. So we have like someone in a washing place, someone in a grand library on the right, and a nice little tea salon thingy or tea like making thing. I don't know. Those are the only like quick hints I can glean from that. But those are the three games that are as of yet unannounced and are also in production by Devolver Digital that can only be seen if you collect all those goodies I showed off.
Interesting.
It's not a whole lot, but it plants the seeds, and I think that's fine enough.
Alrighty.
Okay, and then Jordy, what about you?
I just really like how it went from like a very relatable event to surreal in like this time that we spent talking about all this. It was just like, whoa. But no, really, I liked it. I liked some of the games that they showed off that are coming out soon, including the Shadow Warrior 3 one. I think that's going to be fun. And like I said, I liked the little twist with Carrion. Is that what it's called? Carrion?
Yeah.
Because I keep thinking it's called Carry On.
Nah, it's like Carrion, which something like that. But yeah, I think once again, very creative way to do this, and I mean, if there was an E3 to win, I guess I could say they've technically won it so far. I think
because they're the only one that did one.
Right. The playable thing is still super creative to me, and I agree that they should probably never do it again. Otherwise, they are always going to try and live up to however fun this was.
Or at the very least, if they want to, now if they're pressured into it, if they want to, at least do enough different to make it stand on its own.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll agree to that.
And other than that, I agree. I wish there were a couple more games that I was looking forward to. I gotta say it out. I gotta put it out there just as far as critique goes. Weird West definitely looks like a game that I know a friend of mine will like, but I don't think I will personally pick that up. Olea, the combat looks incredibly fun, but I think the art style is going to make it a little hard for me to make sense of what's happening. So I may again just kind of pass up on that one as well. Blightbound just was unfortunately like an easy not my kind of thing. Definitely looking forward to whatever Fall Guys and the Shadow Warrior and Serious Sam games will be like, and I want Carrion to do well. That pretty much about sums it up. So thank you all so much for watching. And I guess just in case to just toss this out there, if you wanted to try out the game for yourself just to have fun with the t-shirt can and stuff, that game that I just showed off is entirely free.
Yay!
Because frankly, charging people for commercials would have been stupid, and even they know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They may be crazy, but even they have some sense. Till next time, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.
Don't forget to visit our gift shop.